Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome. Oh, wait, I have some audio in my headphones. Hi, everybody. Uh, Funny start to the show, I guess, but welcome back to Crypto Traders Arena. This is our Sunday crypto weekly review show that we're doing every week, tracking the altcoin market and working our Road to Financial Freedom plan, which is the sort of altcoin investment plan that we've sort of created for the public, just to kind of walk everyone through a simple investment plan that takes care of the crypto cycle. Hey, everyone in the chat, Mercurio and Constantine, welcome. And yeah, right when I started talking here and streaming, somehow the intro audio was blasted in my headphones. So can never, well, oftentimes don't have a perfect production here at Crypto Traders Arena as far as our YouTube channel, which is usually my fault, but we're just doing the best we can and sticking to the idea that we're traders, not YouTubers. So, if you're looking for like the fancy thumbnails, you're probably not going to find it here, or the big shills on ripping altcoins. But what we do is talk about altcoins when they are in a good place to buy, and I think we've done a pretty good job that this year so far. We're at episode 47 now, so that means we've been doing this for all 47 weeks of the year. We started first week in January with this particular show and project, and sure enough, we banged out some doubles along the way, and kind of, just kept on keeping on with trying to hunt bottoms here in this what we've been calling like an accumulation year. And now we're at the end of that year practically. Geez, so of course crypto is pretty uppy right at the moment, and sort of in the second kind of altcoin bounce of the year. There was kind of a rally earlier right at the beginning of the year, basically the first quarter. And then things came back down to the bottom, and now we're experiencing another rally. Well, of course, Bitcoin's just been sort of grinding higher through all of that, but I'm speaking mostly about altcoins here. They've been sort of up and down, bumping along the bottom of this sort of bottoming range. And sure enough, lots of things are ripping now. So I don't know if we're in a brand new or in a full-on bull market yet. I don't really think we are, but we're certainly at the beginnings of one, probably towards the end of the bottom. So just like all year, we've been saying it was important to be paying attention if you want to take advantage of this sort of cycle idea that, crypto's basically been on a 4-year cyclical pattern now for most of its existence, really, or all of its existence, really. And, that pattern revolves kind of around the Bitcoin halving, which is in 4 or 5 months from now, 6 months maybe. And, typically we find a bottom somewhere around here. And sure enough, it seems like it's coming in. So if you have been paying attention, hopefully you're already long something. And if you're not long, I think it's the same story as last week. It's pretty difficult it's not a great idea to go chase these markets up top here. But if you wait patiently, there's likely to be another opportunity to sneak into these things. And of course, there still is a lot of the market that actually hasn't taken off yet. So I suppose you could look at that in one of two ways. You could see them as laggers that might not ever get going, or you could just see it as like, as like the bull market gets closer, you're going to start seeing, we'll shift from like nothing being in an uptrend to slowly but surely most everything will eventually go into uptrends. And so if, there still are buyable things here, if you can kind of maintain your bullish enthusiasm, which I am. I don't see any reason to think that like everything's going to just go to zero here. I think we're just bumping along kind of as planned. Everything's going basically as planned. Like it makes sense that we'd be rallying, or I should say it makes sense that we're bottoming, 6 or so months before the Bitcoin halving. And it's likely like we might get another pullback. And I think, I've said a lot that I expected sort of prices to grind down into the end of the year. It might end up being wrong here. Here we are on December 3rd, I guess it is. So geez, the end of the year is on us now. So we'll have to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of like kind of panicky dump. It all depends on Bitcoin really, which at the moment has not broken at all. So whether we get that sort of end of the year sell off, tax loss selling kind of sell off is sort of yet to be determined. And maybe it comes, after the end of the year too, and not so much tax loss selling, but maybe we do just still get some sort of dip, like some sort of dip in Bitcoin that allows altcoins to get more dipped, if that makes any sense. Because of course, even if Bitcoin comes off even just a little bit, it won't really change the uptrend structure of Bitcoin, but it could put a pretty good dent in altcoins, especially the ones that have sort of gone a little too far too fast, which I think you could argue a lot of these have. The moves have just been pretty like classic crypto, just like straight up out of the gate, producing like multiple X's. And so it's like some of those might have to come back down to earth a little bit here, which is, what I hope for. Just so that I can continue to purchase altcoins. I'm not really thinking bear at all right now. I'm thinking like buy the dip. So people say buy the dip a lot, and I think the whole concept of buy the dip is right. You've already established your bullish conviction. You think that a market is in an uptrend, but of course, like no market goes straight up forever. So any sort of pullbacks are your buying opportunities, not selling opportunities. And that's how I am right now. I don't think there's not any reason to short altcoins. I mean, sure, if you're just trading lower time frames and you want to take some shorts on things that are overextended, that's a trader's mindset, and I'm totally down with that. It's just not really my take on it. I don't have much interest in going and shorting the altcoin market right now. I'd rather just wait for dips to buy. So, but that's me. And of course that comes all down to context, right? If you're trading like 5-minute charts, then okay, fine. And there's certainly probably some shortable stuff out there in the world. In fact, I did take some shorts on Bitcoin that I got blasted out on. Because we'll move on to Bitcoin here, and just, it just hasn't broken yet. I started off with our website here, which nothing's really changed there, on our website, but cryptotradersarena.com is where you can find us if you're new to the show or want to join our Discord, for example. So check us out there. But moving on to old Bitcoin, you can see how I had my fibs drawn last week, and we've obviously blasted through there and didn't quite hit 40K, but certainly looks like we're gonna. In fact, I'd be shocked if we don't actually hit 40K, because once we get so close to such a big, round number, then it seems like inevitable. So we're just like right below that now. And really, it's still just in this 38.2 to 50% zone. So basically, just like I've talked about now for multiple weeks. And remember, like maybe you remember or not, we could even look at the DXY and kind of see how the DXY had to experience this sort of like zone and had to bounce around in there for a little while until it really decided what it was going to do. And in the DXY's case, it ended up, putting in a big M and breaking down. But you can kind of see how this, the DXY came up, ran up into 50% level, got rejected, and then just had to bang around for a while until it eventually broke down into an M and created this dip. And this is the dip that we want to see in Bitcoin, in my opinion. Just like this chart, you can see how they came down into 61.8 now and bounced it. This is the kind of scenario I could see for Bitcoin. Now, the chart doesn't look exactly the same, of course, but the only point I'm trying to make is this 38.2 to 50% zone needs to be resolved to really make any claims about where Bitcoin's headed. So this is a perfect example of the kind of action that you could expect. Like if the DXY was still bull, if the bulls were still in control here, we should have seen this consolidation break to the upside. But of course, they weren't. And so now it's rolled over and came back into this new range that was created here now and bounced off Mountain Man, 61.8 fib. So like, could Bitcoin do something similar? Where's 61.8 on Bitcoin though? It's much more drastic of a move, but let me drag my fib up there. I mean, this is no top here. I mean, first of all, there's no top here at all, especially on a weekly chart. I mean, the weekly chart, there's certainly no top. The only thing we could say here is RSI is getting pretty overextended. And of course, RSI doesn't love to get too extended for long, but you can see how last top, how much price could move through there as RSI got into overbought. So I don't think we can call tops here on RSI either. I mean, you can see how the M came in. It eventually broke RSI. We're not anywhere near that M now. So certainly a weekly top is not in at all. I mean, if anything, look at OBV here, putting in a W now. Big wide W pointing higher. So Bitcoin's still ripping up. And we haven't hit that 50% level yet, which is at 42,000. So all I'm trying to say here on the weekly chart, we're, probably going to bang around here for a while, but could we get a dip like the DXY at some point? I think so. And I think maybe not put Mountain Man at the target just so quick, because it is quite a bit farther down. Let's see, I don't have my fibs. Suppose I could just drag this one down here, and Mountain Man's way down at 25 or 24,700 bucks. So that would be pretty brutal dip. Could happen. I mean, they could wash these lows perhaps and hit Mountain Man. It's interesting that Mountain Man is those lows now, because either way, there's just a shit ton of support here at this green line at 25,000. I mean, you can see how they set the base there into all the like BlackRock ETF bottom or whatever you want to call it. I think that was the first BlackRock news, was this big green candle here. And then they brought it back down into that line, which, this is that Head and Shoulders neckline. So huge support here. And now that's interesting that Mountain Man's dragging up near that. So like, even if this comes up to like, if say we hit the 50% level, all of a sudden Mountain Man is that level. So if anything, this is why I don't personally think we're ever going to take out, or not in this cycle, take out this 15,000 low. I just don't really think of it that way. It could happen, but I'm not really thinking about that. I can't imagine there must be so much support down here at like 25 and even below. But really all I'm saying here is now Mountain Man's dragged up to that level, so maybe we could get that dip. But I think more likely the dip that I'm looking at is just down against this like 31,800 level, which is this old high. So like, could price rapidly come back down to this area? There's a lot of open air here. Hell, we're in straight up territory now for many weeks here. Got a couple little red candles here, but for the most part, that's I don't know, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 weeks of up, basically, with a couple tiny pullbacks. So that's pretty too far too fast in a lot of ways. I mean, Bitcoin loves to of course, Bitcoin and crypto altogether loves too far too fast. That's like why we like this stuff. That's why I like trading crypto, because it loves to make these epic moves. But I mean, all I'm getting at is, can we get a dip against this high at least to create what would be a bigger dip in altcoins? I think if Bitcoin rips down to this level, that'll pull altcoins back pretty good, and that'll just create that buy opportunity that I'm hoping for. Of course, don't know, and at this point right here, it doesn't look particularly bearish. So certainly not a time to be a buyer of Bitcoin here. If anything, I like these zones and like weekly charts. If you can put yourself in the mindset of just thinking in terms of this weekly chart and using these fibs as tools to keep you honest, then you can be a lot more patient here. Like, there's really shouldn't be feeling any sense of over emotion here, in my opinion. Like, sure, if you're long already, then you should be happy about that. That's great. If you're not long, this is a really dangerous place to be a buyer, and you should just let this play out. Like, I mean, sure, maybe you missed the boat and we have to rip straight up. I don't know, but I can't say, even if that's possible, like, or even if that happens, I still don't think buying here is a very good idea. If anything, buying altcoins is a way better idea, in my opinion. At least you can hunt bottoms with better structure and not buy in the middle of a huge range like this. I mean, essentially we're creeping right up to the middle of the range, which is, it's pretty epic to think. If you've been following crypto and you remember how things were back here when everybody was basically saying crypto's going to zero, I should say right here when the FTX blew up, and I mean, I think that's the FTX was in November, right? Yeah, October, November. That's the FTX dump. It's funny how that's marked, that capitulation when everybody was saying crypto was dead marked the bottom. So if anything, if you, in hindsight, learn that for next time, that usually those kind of events, if you start having like cataclysmic crisis, whatever you want to call it, capitulation events into like good location down against 78.6 of the range, is that really a time to be a seller? I don't know. But anyway, that's just a different tangent. All I was really saying is what an epic move Bitcoin has now made. It's more than doubled off the lows, and it's just back to the middle of the range practically. And actually at this point, it kind of feels like even 50% level needs to be hit. Now, of course, it's really common for a market to do this, right? It has a huge run up, goes through some sort of bear market action, and then the dead cat bounce ends up in this zone, but oftentimes right to the 50% level. This is what we have learned as the Gann level. WD Gann basically said that a market will retrace 50% of the move in half the time. And I think I've drawn that over here and there, but just for fun, let's draw it really quick just to see, we had the top back here to the bottom was 53 weeks. And so half of that is 27 weeks or so. So in theory, to Gann's rule, it would have taken 27 weeks to get to the 50% level, which was here. So we didn't quite make the Gann. That's about 53, right? Yeah, 20. I'm doing math in my head while I talk, so I don't sound like a complete idiot. So really, it's taken a lot longer, but it looks like it's taken 1 to 1. It's like the exact same time, basically. But it's point being, that's just a rule that Gann used, but it can be a very handy rule to even set up a trade setup as a target. You try to hunt a bottom and sell the 50% level, and this just kind of gives you a framework to work from. So all I'm getting at is we're actually grinding up into that level, and it seems very likely that we'll hit it. So I think we'll hit 40 bare minimum, and then it seems likely to hit the 50% level too. And then we'll just see what happens. Does it do the same thing as the DXY? Just go sideways for a little while it figures things out. At some point, you'd think there'd be some sort of consolidation here. It's been just straight up here, and we are getting up against previous consolidation areas and just kind of previous traffic areas. We kind of filled all this. This was like this down move kind of produced like a volume profile gap or like a fair value gap through there. And so there was business that needed to be attended to here at 36. Up to 36. Well, now we've completed all that, and we're getting up into an area that doesn't really have open air. I'd say it's more like this was the ultimate fake out here. This W just sucked everybody in and they broke this out and then just shit on everybody. That was the beginning of the bear market. And so crucial level right here. And then now we've completed all this old business. So, who knows how high it goes. If anything, got to wait for some sort of top signal. I mean, you could go to the daily chart and see that it's also just straight up here. I suppose this is kind of what do you call that? Like an ascending wedge, which is technically a bearish pattern, but I don't really see anything. Sorry about that. My laptop's ringing at me. I don't see anything particularly bearish about this, but this is what's called a ascending wedge, right? I don't really trade those, but it suggests there could be a bearish move down the road. But man, this thing's straight up. So, but I guess just zooming down through the charts here. I mean, daily chart was producing RSI divs back here that are now taken out. We're still in potential new RSI div, not really broken here. But getting back up into overbought again and making a lower high. So we're making higher highs in price, lower high in RSI. So still in potential divergence. But I think the key factor is look at OBV. I always talk about how I think OBV is the strongest indicator, and I also think it's the last one to break usually, and it's not broken at all. So one thing you might want to do is just wait for an M in OBV to give you the go ahead to think this is rolled over, and that's not here. In fact, it's just making higher highs and higher lows. So that is not a top. That's not even a 3-bar fractal top. That's no kind of top. So we're just ripping up into face ripper mode basically at the moment. Not broken. And even, I'm not going to go too far down, but even 4-hour chart, just really quick, also no breakdown. Just very much overbought RSI, no breakdown in OBV. So even as a trader, I mean, I don't know if you're a swing trader, are you going to short this right here? Location's okay. I mean, I don't know. I'd actually disagree. We're sort of in the dump chaser zone. Location's I don't know. Zoomed out, it's not a sell location. Starting to zoom in a little bit here. We don't even really have a range working because we're just shooting straight up here. So should probably wait for some kind of M before you really entertain shorting this market. So anyway, that's sort of a ragged Bitcoin analysis that I just jumped out of the gates with. What could I say? It's not broken. I mean, I thought maybe we could get that break here, and it didn't quite M out. It couldn't quite get rejected at 38.2. It sort of had the battle, couldn't break down. Of course, if you'd have followed that same kind of analogy, wait for an M to come in, you wouldn't have been shorting right here. So, if you just follow the charts, there's nothing in these charts that have told us to short yet. All we got was this RSI div back there. And of course, with OBV not broken. So anyway, what's my point to all that? I guess it's just uppy still, and altcoins are uppy as well. And see, people are. Oh, David, you're welcome. David's saying thank you for SPA. Yeah, I banged out a double on SPA today too. Sounds like you might have as well. You have my eternal gratitude. Can't be bought, or can it? Wait, what? Wait, I can't buy your eternal gratitude, or don't you? But thank you, or you're welcome, I should say, and I'm happy to. Well, if anything, if I've had one good call this year, I suppose that's good enough for me. And I know I've had more than one, so that's good. Of course, I haven't been exactly right on the sort of broader picture of Bitcoin, but I don't know. It's hard. Back in this area, I was really calling for this 38.2 tag back here. I thought we would grind straight up to there. Couldn't quite do, or I should say even right here, I thought we'd hit 38.2. And of course, then during this period, I did get sucked into a little bit more bearish sentiment. I thought maybe we'd come back down into the range here. I was really looking for this kind of like big range to sort of happen like this. And then I was thinking for some sort of bottom here. And of course, you can see what happened. I didn't have faith in the head and shoulders. It was a good lesson for me I had this head and shoulders. I'd been talking about this head and shoulders over and over, and I was calling for that target to be hit. And then I kind of lost my enthusiasm here. And sure enough, there was no reason to, as we came down into support, it wasn't like I was selling, but it did make me think we'd probably dip down into reload zones. And sure enough, we just consolidated against that support and launched up into the head and shoulders target anyway. So didn't quite have my Bitcoin call 100% there, but what can you do? Didn't really change my trading at all. It just sort of changed the way I talk about these shows. And I think now, I was and am thinking lower into the end of the year, but geez, that might not happen. So who knows? Can't be right all the time. And in fact, that's the hardest thing about making these shows anyway, is like, how the hell could I be right? I probably have a pretty good chance of being wrong. I think that's important for people to always remember, regardless of who they're watching on YouTube. The chances of me just being wrong are pretty high. So I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to frame the market in a way that I can benefit from. And of course, like things like that SPA trade that Dave was just talking about, that just produced a setup that I know I like to take. So I took that without having to like call the market per se. I didn't have to like be right about Bitcoin to bang that trade out. And so it's like, we talk about all this stuff, and I try to bring some sort of perspective here, like try to frame some sort of narrative for what could happen here. This is why we like to use these fibs, because I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is we're in a zone that something's going to change here. Either we're going to continue into a rip and bull, or we're going to consolidate and roll back over for a bit. And of course, that's like not really, of course, that's one of those two things is going to happen, right? But this is just like an important area to be watching for that. So like I'm watching for the rollover still, but it hasn't come yet. So I'm not going to step in and short and sell everything here. And generally, really, if Bitcoin looks like this and just kind of keeps on keeping on, then altcoins have the room to breathe here. So I don't know. I don't want to see like complete capitulation. I do want to see a dip here, but who knows? Market doesn't give me what I want, or anybody for that matter. El Diablo saying ETH is looking more promising at the moment to go up comparing with BTC. Yeah, probably. I noticed ETH blasted off yesterday right after I got stopped out. I made an account on Bing X, and I have just been trading some tiny money, taking a couple trades here, just more experimenting with my US residency and ability to go out and trade margin elsewhere. And so far it seems pretty good. But yeah, I got kind of ripped on ETH yesterday, which was annoying. Basically stopped me out and then turned around and ripped. So anyway, we could look at ETH here. And I mean, that was enough about Bitcoin, really. I don't know if that was all that helpful. I mean, it's still the same story as last week. It's like, let's wait for the 38.2 battle to resolve. Ethereum actually finally did take the high out here yesterday, which I thought was a given. That's sort of why I was in that long. And I used that, our THG, we have our THG algo that's really great at sort of chasing into like uppy markets. And yesterday when price was sitting like right here and looking like it wanted to rip, it was pretty clear to me that it would take the highs out at least. And of course they've been, the last 3 weeks here, ETH had been consolidating below the high, couldn't quite take it out, and it was really just building momentum to take the high out here. So the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, hopefully you can just see in these boxes, is doesn't this kind of seem like it could end, could Ethereum end up here in this orange box just like Bitcoin did? So yeah, like I kind of agree with El Diablo here saying that ETH looks a little more promising for like more uppy. Bitcoin's getting a little bit exhausted. I mean, Ethereum's not even overbought here yet. And actually, I threw the RSI moving average on here, and I've just been kind of tinkering with it a lot lately. And it's just the insight I kind of have from this is pretty relevant here. It's like, look how look how the moving average. I mean, first of all, we W'd through the moving averages, which is very bullish in itself, and that's kind of produced this up move. But the fact that like we're getting up into overbought, but the moving average is way down here and just starting to turn up, kind of tells me there's a lot of room to move higher. So, I mean, maybe like as an example, you could kind of look back here and see the same kind of thing. It was like not really, well, it's sort of a WE kind of right through there. And the moving average has pointed up, but it's just still had all that room to go higher, which kind of suggests, with RSI not being overbought yet here, yeah, there is a lot more room here. And OBV is also trying to go into divergence and technically in potential divergence, but damn, it looks uppy. So it could, easily start taking out these highs here. So I agree. I think Ethereum actually does have a little more room to grow, or room to move higher, but also just not broken. I mean, you can't make I mean, if anything, you could say, well, maybe they're taking out the highs of this range. We have a range established here now up against 2142. And currently we're in a weekly FU. So this could turn out to be a fake out for sure. Like we might have to just dip back in the range here. But so far, it looks like here we are on Sunday and looks like we might even close outside the range. So I'll be watching for that today at the close. If Ethereum can close out here, and if we don't get any sort of reaction next week back in the range, then that FU is not really on the table. And if we zoom into like a daily chart, you can kind of see the FU is potentially in progress here. Like, I mean, we have a red candle today. We'll see where we close. If they close this back in the range, then maybe it still has to play around here. But I do agree it has does seem to have some room to move higher. And 38.2 is up here at 2,400. Of course, that's a pretty good round number, and 2,500 is not too much higher. And if we look left here, you can kind of see, like, unlike Bitcoin, actually, there still is sort of some of that volume. Like, there's a gap in volume here on that move. And so there still is open air to suck Ethereum up into that 38.2 level, 2,400. So Ethereum's just a little behind in the same kind of structure as Bitcoin. So if we use Bitcoin as our guide, there's no reason to think that Ethereum couldn't do what Bitcoin's done recently. So if anything, that's kind of a W looking. There's a couple W's in there, right? There's this W that's broken out, and now we have kind of a wider one. So it's still higher highs and higher lows, not broken. Just to finish with the daily chart, I mean, RSI is in potential divergence and OBV is not. Yeah, it looks like OBV already took out the high. So certainly no breaks. At best, we might get like an inside bar here if we close and then break that level tomorrow. That would be a sell signal technically. And there is some fair value gap kind of open air down here. Easily price could play around in this area. So I could see shorts on the lower time frames here, potentially, looking for shorts back inside the range. It's not really my hell, I'd probably be more likely to go hunt longs on THG on altcoins. And, anyway, so I've already been talking 30 minutes. I haven't really covered much except Bitcoin and Ethereum. Of course, we have our, I didn't even introduce Paul. It's just jumped right into it. I got thrown off by getting blasted in my headphones. But of course, we do our Road to Financial Freedom plan. We talk about 5 altcoins from that plan every day. I usually kind of start with just sort of general broader market stuff, rant on about Bitcoin a little bit, which I've already done. And Paul will come on and talk about the 5 altcoins. And I mean, the general consensus is, yeah, the market's up. And if you can find things that have decent locations still, then I'm happy to buy them. I'll just end my talk with the only bids I've worked this week. Well, I did bang a couple doubles out. That was that spa trade here, which I actually have it on Coinbase. So I did bang a double out here on SPA. I only got one of my fills, just basically buying the weekly W level here. You can see the weekly W came in. If I can buy anything like this down here, weekly W retests right now, I'll buy them. And then also Sia coin was another great example. It's another one I actually have elsewhere. I have that on Kraken here. Another weekly W down here that I was able to buy. But are there any of these that are buyable now? And the only ones I have bids on is I worked bids on this CHR. So this is a good example of one that's like not gone. The W's in and it's a little chasey right here, but there's a nice W here, a nice OBV divergence, which is all I'm looking for here, in decent location down against the old cycle lows. Pretty good. Definitely has open air below it, but if crypto continues to stay healthy through here, there's no reason why this thing can't turn into that SPA or any of these other ones. So I haven't bought it yet, but I have a kind of a chasier bid for sure at this 1217 level, which is the weekly W level. That is a little bit high though, so like it's a little more aggressive. And then I just have one working down here near 78.6 at the moment. I just kind of quickly put those in. And that's sort of what I'm shooting for here. Any kind of dips, if Bitcoin can roll over at all, this would be a perfect example of one that I consider to be bottomed off of this W here, and any kind of dips down into the, reload zones of this little range here are very viable in my opinion. Also has the OBV div in. I think I already said that. So I worked bids on CHR. I worked bids on CVX, which almost looks the same. This one's a little bit different price action because we made new lows here where the W came in, and now we've just kind of reclaimed the lows here, power 3 kind of style, and it's sort of uppy here. I can't chase it right here, but I just well, you can see I have 3 bids working, which are basically just Mountain Man 61.8 fib, 78.6, and 88.6. I don't know if I'll get those, any of them or all of them. We'll see. But I got bids working on that, and then I'll just end with saying I have bids on this voxel, which hopefully you can see the similarities in all these. This one has a couple W's. I mean, there's the little W here where I've got a bid working at 78.6 down at 1484. Actually, well, and there's a wider W here too at 61.8, which is also very viable. And of course, putting in this ugly shooting star here this week, that's not a particularly bullish looking end of the week. We'll see how it closes. So I could see myself getting filled here. OBV was in divergence whole bit. But my actual bids, let me look where I actually have this, because I use the Binance charts to look at, and then I trade on Coinbase and Kraken. But I often talk about these shows I use Binance for these shows because you can see there's just not a lot of history on Coinbase here. So yeah, I actually have Mountain Man 78.6 basically down against this tail, and then 88.6, and just we'll see if any kind of dips down in there will fill me. I'm not chasing it up here. I mean, there's a perfect example. You buy this thing right here into this shooting star at 20 cents, and then tomorrow it's going to be down here so I don't know if there's a huge rush to buy it right here. I mean, sure, it might take off, but I'm not going to chase it right here. So anyway, those are the only three bids I think I worked this week. I didn't really buy anything, and I got a couple doubles off, and things are going pretty good, I suppose. In general, I am hoping to buy more, so I do just want to see these dips come in so that I can buy some more things, and we'll see how it goes. So I don't know. You still listening, Paul? I didn't even introduce you earlier. Come and save me. He left. Mika's asking me to talk about USTC. I don't know I saw that was ripping, but honestly, I don't know anything about what's going on with USTC. I mean, let's see. Can we look at it somewhere? USTC. Yeah, like what is going on with you guys? Tell me. Like, I mean, I know I saw Luna was pumping, and And I don't know what's going on here. But apparently this stable coin is not so stable. Not that, I mean, calling this a stable coin is sort of a overstretch anyway. Of course it was everybody's darling algorithmic stable coin, right, in the last cycle, and then it became very unstable, and now it looks like it's very unstable to the upside. So I don't know what's going on with USTC actually. I have no idea. I suppose if you want to bang doubles out on stable coins, you would have. I mean, shit, you'd have banged quadruples out, it looks like, on this thing. So I don't know what's going on here. I suppose if you want to buy USTC, you got to draw your reload zones here and just wait for pullbacks. Not sure what happened to Mr. Paul J. Are you there, sir? Or hopefully I'm even talking. It looks like I'm streaming away on YouTube and everything's fine. So hopefully you guys are even hearing me. But
can you guys hear me now?
Oh, there he is. Hey.
I'm here. Just 1 second, please.
Oh, no problem. I just figured you're abandoning me.
Well, no, I just had activated push to talk. That's the main thing.
Ah, cool. Well,
USTC is pushing higher with the news about Luna and what they want to do. Don't chase. The opportunity is gone there. You need to find something else. Yeah, really nice. If you have some, Miku, you know the drill. Sell some, keep some, manage your risk. I know you are already in a free position. So from this point, I don't know, keep some for the bull market. Just my 2 cents about that. I don't know. You switched to my screen, Kevin?
Yeah, we're looking at your Twitter. I'm not even sure what the news about Luna is, to be honest. I haven't been following.
Well, they are trying to recover. Yeah. That's the idea. The news, everyone knows. They are trying to put USDC to replace BSD, something like that. I don't know if they'll succeed, but we'll see. Well, getting back at our plan. Same plan, same statistics. You can see here, nice and well invested. We still have money to invest more, so we are okay. The plan is the same. For new people, please come here, make a copy, and make your own copy of this spreadsheet. It's a complete one. You can use it for dollar cost averaging, but you'll have to do your own plan. You can use with our plan. And we left at 71. So we'll start today with Qtum. I think we are in a nice pace, slow and steady. We'll review all of them. We'll start over again, depending on what we'll see in the market next year, probably. We'll get back at 10 coins every week, or we'll stay with 5. We didn't decide yet. Let's see how the market will behave. If the market will dump, then I'll get back on 10 coins every week, because probably we'll get more good levels to buy, and I want to have the orders in the market. Seeing the market going up like this, well, let's enjoy what we have. On this plan, I want to mention for everyone. I mentioned for premium members, but some people, they didn't get that idea. We are only selling one shot. Sell half on a double. So we'll sell only the first time. What we have free coins, we are not selling the second time and the third time. Yeah. What I have free, it's free, and that's it. If I'll reload and I'll sell again, I'll repeat the process, but I don't need to sell anything from my free coins. At least with this plan. We are on Binance. Usually big coins, I don't need free money now. We have, if you look at this part, we have free money. So we have money to buy lower. I don't need more money. I need more free coins. So why I should sell after I get in that position of free coins, let's call it that way. It's not my money anymore. I don't want to sell that part. I want to keep it until the P cycle top, at least 90% of it. So let's be clear. I'm not selling more than one shot here with this plan. If you want to do a different plan, okay, adapt this plan and do it otherwise. But I think overall is the best strategy for us to keep it at one shot. Okay, let's start with this one and let's see what we have on the chart. Well, on the weekly chart, we can see we had the limit order from a long time ago, but we actually bought the weekly W. You can see it really nice here. We are in profit, but we didn't hit our sell half on a double. So for the moment, nothing to do. We didn't pump high enough to think, okay, let's reload, because not reloading. Let's buy another 0.5 because I see this weekly W, but we didn't pump more than at least to break this range. So if the market will keep staying in this range, I'll decide later if I want to buy another 0.5. Now, for the moment, I'm not so convinced that I should buy at the same level another 0.5. Let's see how the market will develop. Honestly, I'm tempted to do something like this. I will not do it now, but I'm tempted to do something like this. I have another 0.5 free to buy it here. Okay, I'll place it at the all-time lows. Maybe they'll play an SFU move. Usually they'll do that before they'll pump. So if will be the case, I'll probably put a limit order here and then I'll readjust. For the moment, on this one, we have some exposure. We have our limit order in the market. Be damn sure that you have that order in the market, and nothing we can do. Indicators looking really nice. Nothing to say about indicator. If you zoom out, you'll see it even better. Look at this OBV. So really strong. But let's not be greedy. Let's wait for the sell half on a double, where now we are just in that environment of going sideways. So we can stay in this environment for a long period of time. Yeah, Bitcoin, it's at 40K. Yeah, could push higher until the short reload zone, maybe. 40K, it's a pretty important level. But that doesn't mean we are in a bull market, at least on altcoins, not yet. I don't consider, from my experience, I don't consider that a bull market is really starting to go in the exponential phase before the halvening. Yeah, we are nice and more than double from the lows. Yeah, it's on Bitcoin, you can call it, is the start of a new bull market. That's why we keep telling you guys, okay, let's accumulate this year because it's an accumulation year. Yeah, we want to buy, but that doesn't mean a real bull market on the entire crypto space will start before the halving. At least not the exponential part where we'll get I don't know, 10x, 100x, and so on. So we'll keep buying until we'll leave this big range. If we'll get a shot, okay, we'll sell half on a double. Then I could draw my long reload zone. I could wait in the long reload zone, and keep going, doing stuff like that until after the halvening. Some people ask, and when we'll stop buying? Well, when the market will not feel my reload, that's for sure. So if I'll see the market, let's say we got up in the $6+ and market is not coming back to my long reload zone. Well, I have some money to buy 0.5, but the market is not coming back to my entry. Okay, I'll just sit and wait. Nothing to do. If the market will come back, that means this coin still has some business here, and I'll reload and I'll sell half on a double, and repeating that until I'll not get a fill anymore. But in my view, that will happen after the halvening, not before. So we are still nice and clean in that environment. And the first part of the plan, says, one second. So first part of the plan says to use little old lady to accumulate free coins. Well, it's that simple. And we'll keep doing that until the market will prove me that we are not in that environment anymore. When market will tell me, definitely, I'm not expecting that to change until the halvening. Maybe after 1 month, 2 months, I don't know. But before, I don't think so. If the market will prove me wrong, okay, then I explained you that will not get a fill anymore. So that will, if I'll see, I don't know, 70 to 80% of the coins, they are not getting back in the long reload zone to get me a feel, okay, I'll pay attention and maybe I'll change the approach. On this one, nothing to do. Let's just wait. We have exposure. Just check if you have the short levels in the market. Let's get back on the plan and let's see what we have. Well, now we are talking about Luna. I spoke about Luna, I guess, last live stream, but let's do it anyway. You can see Luna. We have some potential here. Not that we'll go ever again. We'll go at $120, but we don't need to go to 120 to make some money. Well, we bought first time at $1.25, and second time we bought at 68 cents. We did an average, and we have the short at almost $2. From this point, after we bought the second time, when we do the average and we put the short here, nothing we can do. Until we'll get a short hit, nothing we can do. We should wait. Yeah, if you are using a different plan, you can see the W. You can see the W here. This is a weekly W. Breakout, okay, is going higher. Yeah, we'll go higher, but at some point in time, probably we'll retest this level. So you can do a long reload zone, and you can see now long reload zone 78.6 is at the breakout point. Usually on altcoins, I change some things, so I don't want to buy to even see 61.8. I want to see 78.6 and 88.6. So you can see where I'll hunt a new entry with a different plan. On this plan, on what we are talking on road to financial freedom, we bought 1% and nothing we can do more than that. But if you have a different plan, if you really like this project, I know some people, they think this project will recover and will do great things again. Okay, this is your area, 78.6. You can see the weekly W, you can see the breakout point, you can see we didn't retest this level completely. So we can retest that level. You can even put a limit order at the candle body highs here, just above 78.6. That will be I don't know, 50 cents, something like that. So on this one, nothing to do. Let's just wait for a shot. The next one is audio. Well, that's a bit sketchy on audio because we bought a lot higher at 24 cents and now are at below 20 cents. That means that we'll not get a shot. Yeah, we'll get it at some point in time, not next week probably, but we don't have that weekly double. You can see we are still in a trying to form that channel, that range. Even if we bought higher, you can see this is the long reload zone I spoke about, 78.6 to 88.6. Now it's a good level to buy if you didn't bought here, but I bought higher and I don't have that weekly W. So I'm not allowed to buy another 0.5 because I don't see that weekly W. If we'll form a weekly W here, okay, I could buy another 0.5 and I could do the same thing like I did on Luna, do an average and put sell half on a double on that average. So here we are below our buying price. Let's wait for sell half on a double. It's impossible now. If you look back, you can see we have a lot of potential. And yeah, on this one, we have cheap ass, let's call it that way, cheap ass limit order. Yeah, at 2 cents. With the right kind of environment, yeah, I could see that being hit. That's just a tail, take my order and going back. So I'm not moving this one. Yeah. If you cannot put an order, you put an alarm and hopefully you'll be able to get this one. Or you can use Tricomas or Wunder Trading to keep the order on their platform for you and put it in the market when the price will come close to this level. Okay, that's audio. I don't see that range formed now. Yeah, we can say that that range is this one. So this is the low, this is the high, and this is the range. Okay, prove me that. hit my shot, and then I could reload. Nothing to do at this point in time. The next project, or the next coin, let's see this one. I guess we have something on this one. Well, you can see the overview. We are going sideways now. That's good. But I don't see that. But I don't see that exponential move starting now. That's for sure. Okay. So we bought here. You can see at 78.6. We had 0.5. We have the short in the market. You can consider this one a weekly W, but yeah, it is a weekly W. But I'm not hurrying up to put a limit order here. Let's see what will happen. Yeah, maybe we'll push higher and we'll change some things. Let's wait a little bit more. If you really want and you like this project, you think it's the best thing since, I don't know, hot water, you can put a limit order here at the breakout from the W. I want a new W. Actually, I want this range to form here, and I want a new W in the long reload zone. Maybe even lower. I don't know. So we have some exposure. We have a sell half on a double in the market waiting. Nothing to do for this one. Nice W, nice OBV, not W. Nice OBV. You can see bullish divergence all the way. Nice and clean, but usually we need that kind of OBV on all the projects. A really strong OBV to tell us, yeah, the market is in a range, but OBV tells us a different story. So this one, nothing to do. Same kind of idea. We bought, sell half on a double waiting, and I'm waiting with the new order to see more details in the market. Give me more details, more information, and then I could buy another 0.5. Well, that's this one, and we have another one, I guess. T-fuel or something like that. It's hard for me to spell it in English, but you can see it on the screen. Well, on this one, we are going sideways, that's for sure, for some time. We have a weekly W, but no fill. I'll move my order here. Well, for the moment, no. For the moment, I'm still waiting with the order here. If I'll see the market pushing higher, a lot higher, I could draw it even now. So let's do that. So this is the high, this is the low, and you can see where I want to buy. Even if, let's say, will not hit this level ever, it's okay. We should wait here for a new W. Okay, push up, go back down here and give me a new W. And then I could say, okay, let's buy this one. It's not a new coin. So I'm expecting more arranging and more consolidation from this one. On new coins, if I see they have, I don't know, at least 40-50% from the coins in the market, I'll be more aggressive. On this one, not quite. So let's just wait. If you want, yeah, it's a valid W on weekly chart. You can put your limit order at 78.6 at, I don't know, 36, 3.5, 3.6 cents, something like that. You can put your limit order somewhere in here at 78.6, definitely. I'm not in any hurry to do anything. I don't necessarily want this project especially. No. Let him fly, let him come back, give me a good level. I have time, I have patience. I have other projects already. I have some free coins. Let's wait and see what market will give us. I'm still waiting here, and I'm still waiting to see what will happen in the long reload zone. Well, that's the last one. So we talked about 5. This one, we don't have a fill. On this one, we have a fill, and we are waiting for a shot. It's a good idea if the market will pump to put your limit order at the weekly W breakout. Luna, nothing to do. Let's just wait on Luna. Yeah? So on Luna, nothing to do. Just wait for the shot to be hit. Audio, we bought a lot higher. I don't see that weekly W. We should wait. And on this one, we bought, and let's hit our shot or wait for more details here. That's my overview about 5 coins we talked about today. On the, I don't know, swing trading part, what stands up now for the Crypto Traders Arena members is this one. I spoke about this coin multiple times. Kevin in the past drew my attention to this one. I saw the weekly W. You can see it on daily. It's a even clearer big W. And I said, okay, let's buy this one. And we had a couple of days, almost 1 week to buy this one. Even give us a nice retest to the entry. Well, now it's a bit too late. I'm not talking about buying. I'm talking about selling now. So I even posted a message here. Close 50% here. Don't be a greedy goblin. Why? Could be an FU move here and then could go back down, all the way down. So if you'll sell 50% here, let's see how much risk to reward is. Well, it's more than 6. Well, that's okay. If you sell 50% at 6 to 1, you'll make a 3% gain. And move your stop to scratch stop. It's already at scratch. So this one stands up. I saw Kevin and other guys on our community getting some doubles. I like it. I'm in a nice trade with this one. I'll trail the rest. Even if we'll hit this one, I'll close 50% and I'll trail the rest, at least if the market wants to go that high, at least until here. But actually, I'll close another 50% of what is left here and I'll trail again and so on. I learned my lesson that is not a good idea to put yourself in front of your profit. If the market wants to give you more, why not? Yeah. So different methods of trailing and you can make more money. You can see what is with green here. It's swing trading on our community. And usually I'm talking about these projects every day. At least if I don't have anything new, I'll, briefly go on each one of them. Dot, it's still at entry. You can see it. It's a bit more aggressive, my entry here, but didn't perform until now. Maybe this time will push higher. And I guess I had another one. Let's see, comp. I guess it's still at entry. Yeah, close enough. So comp, again, just above the long reload zone. You can see the other side of the trend line, some W's here, railroad tracks here. If the market will keep pushing higher, I don't see any reason this one will not push higher. My target is a bit higher, and you can trail until there, or you can, take some profit off, or what is more than 2 to 1, it's okay to take some profit off. And I guess we have another one is close to the entry. Yeah, this one is below our entry. So you can see Atom, it's underperforming. Yeah, I know. Everyone says that will never pump. I don't trust that kind of thinking. This is a kind of a daily W here. And you can see the other side of the trend line. I'm okay with risking 1% here. If the market prove me wrong and I'll be stopped out here, no big deal. I'll probably try another shot because we are the other side of the trend line. If the market will break down, I'll get probably a better level, another W, and I'll try again. But for the moment, I'm in these ones. The rest of them, they are too high to even speak about them. They are on the trailing mode already. Let me give you an example. Something like this. I don't think you want to. Nothing to do on this one. Either you are in from the lows, either you are waiting now in the long reload zone. Nothing to do on this one. We took some profit here. And most of them, they are on already too high. You can see here a SAR, same kind of idea. Well, Zilic, I guess it's at 1 to 1. If you can frame at a different time frame, you can frame a trade here. I see a bot idea here. On lower time frame, I see a bot forming AB equals CD, and we can push higher. But that's a different discussion. We'll talk about in Crypto Traders Arena community on, general premium member, something like that. Well, that's about all I had to say about the market in general. I want to see what we have on Bitcoin on weekly chart, but Kevin did a really good job talking about Bitcoin overall. So I don't think I need to say more. Yeah, buying level was here when P cycle bottom give us a signal, stopping here, accumulating. Yeah, so we had a nice window of buying, and I said multiple times, you can see buy here, stop buying here, stop dollar cost averaging, yeah, on Bitcoin. I think it's a really good level. You have a double now, even if you dollar cost average. Now, not the best level to buy, definitely. To short, well, on weekly chart, I don't see weakness. Honestly, I don't see weakness. Yeah, we are in the short reload zone from the bear market starting from 48, but I don't see weakness. We can push higher. We can push even in 48 in the short reload zone. And you can see I posted last week this message here in the chart to have it. Yeah, your favorite influencer will become bullish here. Usually they above 40K, they will become bullish. And then we'll start seeing some divergence on indicators, and probably it's over for some time. Indicators, I don't see weakness here. I don't see OBV really strong. Now is pushing higher, but let's wait a little bit. But OBV, it's actually underperforming looking overall. Market pushing higher and OBV lagging. I don't like that, but I like the idea that we'll form a top somewhere in here and we'll retrace. You can see I should draw my long reload zone and wait. You can see even a 61.8 is 25K. I don't want now to break down, because 25K will mean we'll probably make a new low here, and I don't want that. I want the market to push higher a little bit and then to come and test 61.8. So I will keeping the structure active. So we'll not make a new low here. We'll keep this low. But it's not about me. It's about what market wants to do. We are here to make money. See the levels, get an edge in the market, get a setup, work your plan, and make some money. We are not here to call the tops and bottoms. Yeah, I don't need to say where the top is, where the bottom is. I said where the bottom is, that, but if I didn't bought here, it didn't help me a lot. I bought here and this W, but if I say, okay, this is the P cycle bottom, says this is the bottom, and I didn't put any money in, that doesn't help me too much. Okay, I call it, and so what? So you are here to make money. Let's work with a plan. Let's work with setups and with a strict risk management. I don't think it's a good idea to invest in Bitcoin here. That's for sure. We are thinking overall, you are more than above 50%. So let's call it from 0 to 60, you are at 40. Well, I don't think it's the best idea to invest here. You should wait for some kind of retracement. Either you are waiting here with a limit order, either you are waiting in a pump chaser zone. You can see pump chaser zone will be somewhere in here, and you'll see a W, and you can frame a trade. If that W will hold, you can keep your investment. If you see it failing, you can exit and buy lower. But here, no. That doesn't mean, like I said, that doesn't mean we cannot push higher. It's not the perfect time now to push higher, but you can see Bitcoin, if you look left, Bitcoin could be quite volatile. You look at the weekly candles here, you can see it could be all over the place. This one started 59, stop and goes down at 42. So get an idea. We didn't have candles like that, like this here. We didn't have last 2 years. That doesn't mean the volatility cannot come back. We can all of a sudden get a God candle, like Twitter likes to say. I don't know, 5K, 10K candle, daily candles, not weekly. So yeah, we can get that. Will be ugly. Don't think will be easy to trade something like that, because we'll pump 10K. You'll try to get some altcoins. Okay, I miss Bitcoin. Let's get some altcoins, and Bitcoin will dump, and you'll get stopped out on altcoins. So it's not so easy. But level by level, setup by setup, I think we are okay. On the investment part, we are really on the schedule. Honestly, I really like what we have now here. Yeah, we have some exposure in case this time is different. We'll pump to the all-time highs. We have the plan what to do with that. But at the same time, if we'll get a retracement, we have some money to buy lower. So I think we are in the best position possible. That being said, let's ask Kevin if he wants to do the giveaway.
Yeah.
We are still online, or
Yeah.
I'm speaking by myself?
No, I'm here. Let's give it all away.
Yeah.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do the giveaway. Let me
Well, good luck to everyone.
pull up the old wheel of fortune.
Well, you laughed at my drum last time, so this time without drum. Sorry.
I'll do it. We got 15 names on the on the wheel. So of course, I think Paul already said, but retweet this. You know, if you want to be in next week's giveaway, just retweet the pin tweet on our Twitter that is this show number 47 or 48. Sorry, last week was 47. And I'll just hit this damn wheel and we'll see who wins. So here we go. All right, who's it gonna be? Last time it was almost right on the middle. Oh shit! Oh shit! No,
I'm behind you. I'm behind you, Kevin. I cannot see yet on YouTube.
Oh no, DMAC almost. Oh, dude, that sucks for DMAC. Sorry. Oh man, it was like stop. It like almost stopped on you, DMAC, dude. Sorry to the laugh, but Blago B. I don't know. You guys are probably seeing this on delay here.
Well, he's a premium member, so we'll probably get a 1-to-1 this time. So
I thought DMAC you had it, man. I thought you had it in the bag, dude. That was fucked.
yeah, next time, D-Mac. Sorry, but don't blame us. Blame the wheel.
Man, that was a tough break, dude. Well, what can you do? Sorry, and I don't know. It's just becoming kind of a thing with the DMAC. We're not picking on you, but it obviously just been kind of fun to joke around about.
Well, you don't have premium access, but you have the general part, and you can ask any question. We'll answer. You know that. Any member from our community will not ask something and will not answer. We'll answer any question about any level. Yeah, we are not talking day trading, swing trading on general chat. That's for sure. But it's not healthy for us to do that. Yeah, you are a premium member. I know you. You know that. I know you are working with a plan. At least you have an idea about how you should respect the risk management. Okay, then we can talk some levels. On general chat is mostly about this plan, weekly levels, daily levels sometimes. From time to time, we'll post an idea on higher time frame. If you want to be a swing trader, well, you have the opportunity to come on premium. On premium, we are posting daily. You will see gladiators posting in the channel a lot of ideas. You'll have Julian posting about kind of little old lady daily, weekly time frame on KuCoin mostly. You'll have Kevin posting on his channel. You'll see me, Carol, and other gladiators, Stefan posting on a regular channel about some swing ideas. And you can join us in the New York session to trade with us. At least in New York session, even if you are not a day trader, you can see what is about. You can ask question. You can see if get an idea if it's for you or not. Stuff like that. But general part, yeah, in my view, maybe my view is wrong, but in my view, we offer a lot of value for the general members without paying anything. We have this spreadsheet. We have some ideas on higher time frames. If someone has a question about anything, planning, everything related to trading, we'll answer. So I think it's a good value for most of the people. Generally, people, they don't want to day trade or swing trade. They want to invest and keep their day job. So we offer that for free. This plan is complete. We don't ask anything for this one, and it's complete. You have the levels, you have the spreadsheet, you have a complete statistic. It's a complete plan. And I think if you follow only this one, you'll make some money until the top of the bull market. Depending how well you can respect a plan, you can make nice money with this one. We'll see at the end of the bull market the result.
Yep.
Well, so let's keep going.
Yeah, just to
We
add
have
on.
any?
Well, just to add on that, yeah. If anybody has any requests, sorry to cut you off there, Paul. But
I was asking the same thing. If we have any requests in the chat, post them in the YouTube chat, and we can see them.
yeah,
Honestly, seeing the crypto market overall, the altcoins, I don't think it's good for us to buy now. Draw your long reload zones. It's that simple. Overall, okay, if you have a request, I'll answer and I'll look at. But overall, draw your long reload zone and wait at 61.8, at least 61.8. You saw me earlier looking at 78.6, 88.6 kind of idea. It's a bit too high for our taste to buy now. What you bought, okay, keep it. Sell some, get free position, but don't sell everything. We don't know for sure that the market will retrace. We can repeat the 2017 scenario. Yeah, we are in December, Bitcoin will go to all-time highs, and in January, altcoins will go to all-time highs. We don't know. Probability to that to happen is low, but could happen. I'm not my crystal globe is broken from a long time ago, so I need TA to get an edge in the market. Well,
yeah.
I guess Couture has a request.
Actually, do you want to do the request? Because I took your screen down, but
Oh, you can do it if you have the screen. Why not?
oh, I just have it on our website, but I can easily pop you back up. Who do you? It's up to you, man.
Well, let Couture decide that. Couture, who you want to answer your question?
Dag is actually, I'll do Dag because I was talking about Dag a while back, so I know the Dag chart.
Okay.
So I'll do Dag at least. And yeah, this one I mean, it looks pretty good in general. I'll just backing up a little bit. I remember starting to talk about it here at this first W. Pretty good example of just the first W didn't quite take. Had a little bit more down to go here. Like, we got this was what back in July. Yeah, so tried to break it out. Did make a W. Nice location below 80. I mean, regardless, location's really good. Obviously, we're below 88.6 off the old range, but this is just a good example of when you know how much price loves to check the old structural bottom. So you could see how the W came in right above this bottom green line at 0.26, which was this old W breakout. It came in right above that, but still had to fake out and come back down and test that level. So that's just good to keep in mind in the future. It's interesting this big red candle here, how they checked that W level before the last cycle rally, which is another good example of this is the kind of situation that we want to see now, I'd say. Like any sort of mega dips down into the W bottom is like the buy opportunities that could produce these kind of rallies later. So just when you look through altcoins, don't underestimate the possibility of this happening now. Like, I mean, we're in this kind of area right here where altcoins have sort of rallied and they're kind of pushing higher. But any moment we could just see this dip down against these levels. And so when I say I'm looking to buy strong altcoins, buy the dip on strong altcoins, this would be that exact example from last time. But currently, we have a new little cheeky little weekly W here now, and look, they've even checked that level actually this week. So that's sort of the Wyckoff check of the current little W. Does it hold? I mean, clearly, again, location's pretty damn good. There still is room to move down. If we lose the lows, there is kind of a fair value gap here. There's lower possibility for sure. But if everything stays, relatively positive, then yeah, I like buying that level at 0.319 ish. To be fair, that's a pretty weak looking W. Like we definitely like to see wider ones with more consolidation. This is only, the bare minimum basically for a W. It's got like, 5 or 6 candles to make it. So it's not very wide, but it's still good enough for me in general. So yeah, we have good location. We have structure, but is there anything in the indicators that make us want to think that this thing is turned? And I would say that, like when I got interested back here, when I first mentioned this, you could see how OBV was still trending down. So that was the sign too. That was another good sign that this thing hadn't truly bottom. We didn't really have a divergence, but we did have a W that came in there. That was pretty good. It was an okay-ish sign that maybe it had turned, but sure enough, it failed. But now we actually have potential divergence. Well, actually, we actually confirmed. Yeah, so now the OBV has actually confirmed that divergence. So that's much more positive in my opinion. We actually took out the highs of the middle of the W, have confirmed divergence, put in a weekly W, broke it out, and now has come back down into that structural W. And actually, you can kind of see the Wyckoff check is in progress right now this week. They bounced it a little bit. Still looks a little heavy here, to be fair, but I'm totally fine with just maybe drawing a fib levels off of that new range here that's established. And you can see how Mountain Man 61.8 is basically the W breakout. And then, there's a likely chance of getting filled lower here. 78.6 is at 0.0278. So I like buying in there. Just kind of understanding that, like, I think the setup is in for me, but the fact that this little weekly W isn't that, it's not that wide. It's not representing that much of a base, and it was made on a new low. We're making lower highs and lower lows all through here, and this is a new low. We've W'd, and now we have a lower high here. So that you can't argue that the trend is changed yet. So it is possible we still have to spend, who knows how long down here, and maybe even take out these lows again because there is just this open air here. But for the most part, I like the idea of taking shots down in that reload zone off of that little range. And hopefully it ends up turning into something like that where the W actually comes in again above the lows. So, I mean, clearly, like, there's tons of upside to this, and location's really good. So I can't fault anybody for just wanting to come in and buy that little W there. In fact, I would love to do that, but I think I got to go on chain for this thing. Couldn't find it anywhere at the time when I was looking at it back here. But in general, I like it. And I kind of remember looking into the project and thinking it seemed really interesting. I didn't really go way deep into it, but all in all, I give it like a relatively good thumbs up, and it seems pretty viable here. You're certainly not chasing. It looks a little weak the last couple weeks here. I mean, we definitely have like a 3-bar top here. So that confirmed this week. So the sell signal kind of came in, not like short signal, but just like a sell signal candle that suggests pulling back down in the bottom of the range. So yeah, I like hunting reload zones there. Looks pretty good to me. It looks like RSI is basically turned up here. But I'm mostly focused on OBV, and I like that divergence is now in, so certainly another W or a wider W that comes in would be great. And then ultimately you probably see that this becomes just a big W. Once it finally does get going, it'll look like this probably. And there'll be, a big W breaking through there that will suggest it can actually start going higher. Well, that's pretty good. I like it. And I think somebody asked about Link, which I don't think there's anything we can do with Link here. Oh, do you think it'll hit 20 bucks? Well, whatever I say here, of course, is just going to be an opinion. It's, who knows if it's going to hit 20 bucks or not. I'm guessing it probably will. I can't remember exactly the Link chart here, but so Mr. Link, of course, this is one we talked a lot about back here. Stefan had a really nice call in this panic kind of capitulation dip where they took the lows out here. And I've already banged a double out on Link. And now you can see I have my orange box up here at 38.2. So, and that's above $20. So you tell me, like, I think the chances of hitting 20 bucks, seems like, I remember somebody asked me this last time and I drew that line there. I have a line drawn at $20. So let's just zoom in a little bit here and just kind of look at what's going on. Now, to be fair, it's straight up here. So it's getting a little bit overbought. RSI is well into overbought. OBV is still pointing higher and not broken. So there's nothing broken. It's kind of like Bitcoin here. Nothing broken at all. Still pointing higher. But with 38.2 way up here, my guess, well, let's just put it this way. My gut is Link will hit $20 somewhere down the road. In fact, I feel very strongly that it will hit 20 bucks somewhere down the road. The question is, does it come back down first and give people another chance to load up, or does it just shoot straight up there? And I can't answer that at all. I mean, I could easily see it just shooting up there. Just because 38.2 is all the way up at 24 or 23, sorry. So yeah, I think it could just run right up there, no problem. I also think if you want to buy a Link, very simple to know where to buy Link. I think Link is a buy. It's just only a buy down, you know, below, unfortunately, like, 928 back down into this range, or even if it checked the top of the range here, that's basically 61.8 at 970. So that's the only place I could consider buying Link again. But does it hit 20 first, or does it come back down there and then hit 20? But I mean, personally, when the bull market truly hits, I think Link will end up back up here, like at least 40, or somewhere up in the short reload zones, maybe even higher. I don't think Link's going anywhere, right? I think it's pretty established as as it's got its mark in crypto. It's not going anywhere. So as long as everything doesn't go to hell across the entire market and world, I think Link will easily hit $20 someday. It's just a question of whether it can roll over here first. And the answer to that, it's just up in the air. There's nothing here that suggests a weekly top. There's just a little bit of an overbought condition in RSI. And I suppose just looking at the daily for fun, is it broken on the daily yet here? RSI never went into divergence. Did put in like a little M, and then we lost the overbought condition, and now it is in. I mean, it's in potential divergence if we just FU the highs here. Like if they take out the highs here real quick, then that RSI will be in potential divergence, I'm guessing. And OBV is also that same kind of situation. So nothing yet here, but it seems likely they'll at least wash that high and just maybe FU the current high. You can see how they've pushed it up into like short reload zones off of just this kind of like local range. So certainly if you're Adam, if you're just obsessed with shorting altcoins, I suppose that's a good location to be taking lower time frame shorts. But I don't really see it broken yet. My guess is they at least FU the high here at 1660. And let's see what happens there. So if you want to, I think 20 is a little far out of the way right now to really make a call. But like if we take the range highs out and maintain strength, then yeah, like very likely it's a big round number, right? Seems super likely to be hit. I don't think you can really say right here. It's just kind of, this could become a big M, maybe it rolls over and we start coming back down in the reload zones, but it's too early to say. In general, just pointing straight up, I'd say it's definitely still in an uptrend. What else has anybody got here? Oh yeah, DAG. I spoke about that quite a while back. He said, "Oh yeah." So Kuchar's saying, and you're much better at FA than me, but you're saying that it's fundamentally strong, but not that hyped. Yeah, that could be a good thing. I mean, I also noticed it's not traded. I mean, it's traded on KuCoin, but it's not on Binance. It's not on any of the exchanges I like, Coinbase and Kraken. And I feel like it's not even an ERC20 if I remember correctly, right? So it wasn't even like it's you got to go hunting to buy it if you can't access it. And that's it for the request. But if anybody wants to throw more requests in, feel free. I'll just in the meantime real quickly mention that there is still stuff that's buyable for sure, and I do still have my weekly W list, which has grown to be quite long here. I already mentioned like the ones I was bidding on currently, but they have their own mainnet. Yeah, they got their own mainnet, that DAG. Yeah, Spa went fantastically. You probably saw. Yeah, I saw that. I banked double out on that overnight actually. Like just to probably wrap this up here in the next few minutes, but just maybe to pick a couple that I think are still viable from this list. Just off the top of my head, like I think like Comp maybe is one that we've talked a lot about. Yeah, and you can see how Comp. I mean, and this is what I was trying to make the point earlier. Like, are these just laggards, or are they just never going to perform? I don't know how to answer that question. Like, I kind of like to stay in the mindset that we're basically in the bottoming phase still. We're well into the bottoming phase, and things that are lagging right now but have a weekly W, it's just because the entire market hasn't we're not truly in a bull yet. I don't see any reason why something like this Comp can't go down the road. And yeah, you might have to go underwater a bit, because if you buy this reload zone, for example, like you can see the W's in here, and Mountain Man's at $47 and price is sitting at 51, looking a little bit heavy into the end of the week. So it could easily come down in that reload zone here this week. Even you could see they checked Mountain Man last week, or last week. So yeah, like if the whole market kind of has to pull back a little bit, then yeah, this thing's going to dip deeper. But in general, I kind of like the idea of buying this thing somewhere down in there. So that one's definitely not too far gone. Um, some other ones that haven't really taken off yet would be like, uh, well, I know that I feel like I've mentioned some of these over and over, so I don't want to spend tons of time on it. But like this high chart is a chart I really like, where it just hasn't gotten going. It's just sitting right at the weekly W. I've already bought that level, um, and it just hasn't done anything here in this recent rally. But you can see I mean, I have all these lines drawn on here, but OBV divergence came in back here. W's in, RSI has W through the 50 line and is starting to turn upwards. On the other side of the trend line, we have a nice fat W, which is in a reload zone, actually below the reload zone, down at like in between 78 and 88.6 is the W breakout level. So everything works here for me in terms of what I like to buy, and it's just sitting right there. And yeah, there's downside risk as always, but this is a pretty nice tight W. I mean, the lows are basically at $1, and the price is sitting at $1.45. So it is, it's in that 50% kind of window. I'd like to see these W's be at least, the stop should be, well, not the stop, but the lows should be like less than 50% away. I kind of like to, it's not like a hard rule for me, but I don't really like to buy things that have more than 50% downside to the lows if I'm buying a W. And this qualifies. It's got like 45, so it's still a lot, but just as an example, if you can find stuff that looks like this still, I'm willing to take a shot on things like this. Even though they've been lagging. So that's another one. Maybe I could pick one more here really quick from my list that might be I know I brought up CRV in the room, and some of the smarter people in the room were telling me that CRV is kind of like, it's got like some issues in terms of how pumpable it is. I don't know. They said it was still a pretty okay play, and they preferred CVX, which is related, which I already mentioned earlier that I'm working bids on. So I don't know. From an FA standpoint, I'm not exactly sure. From a weekly W standpoint, it's just sitting right at that weekly W level that's all the way down against its old lows. But from an OBV standpoint, we didn't get divergence. Something happened here. Everybody capitulated on this big red candle here, and just price collapsed and basically wrecked OBV. And they did turn around and turn, and it's got kind of like a steep W here, which is okay with me. I'm actually in this, but a little bit underwater, because I was buying this W back here. I think my average cost is there at like 77. So I'm like underwater here, but kind of interested in maybe adding. Nice W. Just didn't really love OBV there, but certainly buyable. So you might consider CRV. And I don't know. I could keep picking these. There's more. So, I mean, you can't tell me there's not things that aren't buyable. Like, sure, most stuff's taken off, but there's a lot of stuff like this that might just be lagging at the moment, which will take a harder hit if everything rolls over. But it's, in my opinion, I guess I'd say this is like not a huge rush to me. It's not like I think you got to ape in, but you never know when these things are going to take off. It's still a little questionable how the end of the year will resolve. I do. It's funny. It's like on one hand, there's like the end of the year tax loss selling, like sell off that often happens, but there's also the Santa Claus rally that people talk about in the stock market, where usually the last week, the Christmas week, it's, most Christmas weeks of the past, the stock market has done pretty well that week. So it's kind of like you're sort of weighing these two things. I don't know how that all plays out in crypto exactly, or the stock market for that matter, but let's just see if we get a pullback. If we do something like this W could fail, but you can't tell me it's not a nice place to be thinking. I mean, it's all the way down against the old W. It's got a nice little weekly W working. I don't know. Tax loss selling is more magnified since it's 100% non-retirement accounts in my home. Yeah. So Andre's saying, yeah, for crypto. I mean, that's a good point. And also when you kind of keep the context of the year, are there people that are bag holding right now? I'm guessing there kind of is. Like, I mean, people aren't bag holding Bitcoin. I mean, even if you bought Bitcoin recently, you're not really bag holding too hard. You're not just like underwater. So I don't know if people are going to be tax loss selling Bitcoin so much. But I mean, I could see certainly how, there's things that could have easily been bought higher that you're quite underwater on now. If you're anybody that was buying like the January or the first quarter rally or something, they might have gotten underwater pretty good. So it's just hard to say. I don't know how to I don't know how to qualify all that, but I think Andre's right here in the chat saying that, in crypto, it's non-retirement accounts. Stock markets, a lot of the trading is in retirement accounts. There's no incentive to tax loss sell your retirement account in the US. But in crypto, yeah, in fact, in the US, there's no wash trading in crypto at the moment. So you could, if you're you could sell and buy right back. So I don't know if people will necessarily do that, but there's certainly incentive to take your tax loss selling. Like if you have something you're way underwater on, you could sell it and then buy it right back a minute later and actually still take the loss. You can still realize that loss. Whereas in stocks, you can't do that. So I think it's likely. And also, I just think, just putting it all into context, I think it's likely that Bitcoin has some kind of pullback, and it doesn't take much. Like even like a one big solid red candle in Bitcoin, like Paul was just talking about, we could get some super painful dip. That would be enough, I think, to pull these altcoins down. So that's why, actually, that's why more importantly, you got to have your bids working. Like what would be an example of one I've missed, or even like CVX. Like for me to get filled on this one's not too far gone actually, so it's not really a great example, but something that maybe is a little higher. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head that I want to buy that's a little bit too far. Let me think here for a second. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Even just like something like Siacoin or something, like how would you get filled in a reload zone on Siacoin? It's up a pretty good clip here. It would take a pretty big, a nice big red candle in Bitcoin could bring this thing down to 42 cents, which is 61.8. That's not even that far, really, at the end of the day. It could bring it down lower. So it's like something like this. If you want to, like, if I wanted to reload on Siacoin, which I'm happy to do if it affords me the opportunity. And I have my fibs drawn off here. I could take them off the old lows, but just using this range here, a decent dip in Bitcoin will pull this thing down into reload zones. And so that's kind of what I'm sort of hoping for or looking for. And it can happen at any moment. You can see even on this chart, it wasn't in one day or anything. It kind of was here. Like, how they ran it up here and then just took it right back down to the reload zone in a matter of a few days. Like that's kind of the sort of thing that I could see happening in crypto or in altcoins in general. So that was the point I was gonna make. So you gotta have your bids working. I got off track. My whole point is you're gonna miss it if you don't do the work now. If you want to be a buyer of Siacoin, you gotta start hunting now and have these bids in the market, because it might happen faster than you can react to. And so that's kind of why it's key right here. If you want to take advantage of this potential dip that's coming in the future, the only way you can really do it is go and identify places where you see market structure bottoms like this, like a W of some sort, and then go and work your bids off of off of that level. And I'll just finish talking with the most epic one ever in Bitcoin in the past that I was fortunate enough to take a part of. And this is exactly what I'm talking about here. If you were, if price was sitting right here at $10,000 on Bitcoin and you were like, God, I really wish I would have bought Bitcoin lower, but I never got the opportunity, or I missed it, or whatever. Yeah, you could have bought it right there and then shit your pants when it dumped, or you could have just been patient and drawn, your fib levels off here. You can see the weekly structural bottom here, which lined up right at 88.6. And sure, you could have bought 78.6, 88.6. You could even bought 61.8 a little more aggressively, and you would have done very well. But point being, I actually think I don't think we're in a like black swan. I don't know what's going to happen, but is there going to be a black swan event that can create this? I don't know. This was pretty epic here, but there probably will be enough of a pullback to create this kind of environment where they just slammed it right down into the W, right against 88.6, 78.6, whatever. And then just it took off from there. And I do think we're going to get probably one more buying opportunity before the halving that might look something like this. So if you don't have your bids working, you're going to miss it. So This one is an epic, very epic version of it that was obviously at the beginning of a pandemic and all that stuff. But this kind of thing happens over and over again. So when I say I want to hunt strong altcoins, I want to buy the dip on strong altcoins. All I mean is I want to find altcoins that have a W like this, and I want to buy the dip into it. That's as simple as I can make it. I swear that's like, I don't know. It's like this is my bread and butter trade. Uh, just because I mean you have something to work with here. There's a huge difference between something like this and like something like this, where like if you're being a buyer, I mean, I remember everybody got sucked in here, 6K, everybody was convinced 6K was the bottom. Everybody was fucking Twitter was like, this is it. We're like, we're back. We're back. Everybody was back right here and then just got shit all over. But when you look at this and you look left, you go like, well, did I have a structural bottom to work against that kind of gives me faith that the people that bought, like the people that put in the bottom here are going to defend that area as price comes back down into it. And by people, I mean huge money, not like, not us little guys, like, the people that stepped in and put this bottom here in were the same people that put this W in really at the end of the day. And they're happy to go back and, they probably sold on this run up too, because it was quite a big move. It was from $3,000 up to 13 grand or whatever. 4 grand, 31.28 actually is the bottom. So, I don't know. Hopefully that point, if you learn anything about like, actually, if you're trying to learn how to invest in altcoins, then well, first of all, I would, this is kind of the key thing we teach in our Capua One program, which we are firing up again in January. So certainly you could jump on board with us and learn kind of an in-depth version about what I'm going to say here. But you can also just learn how to identify good trade location, learn how to identify what market structure bottoms look like, W's to be specific. Learn how to find W's in good location using fibs, and that's almost all you need to. That's all the technical knowledge you need. You don't really need much more technical analysis than that to trade the altcoin cycle. Now, if you want to throw in OBV as an extra confirmation, like I like to do, then that's just a way to keep me from aping in too early and just sort of being patient, keep my patience there so I don't have to go and because I've historically often bought too early, and I started using OBV more to slow me down and not not anyway, just an additional confirmation. So if you want to use an indicator as a third reason, great, but most first and foremost, just learn how to identify trade location and market structure, and then it becomes like a thing. Like I tried to say this earlier in the year, earlier in the year, I was much less likely to, I mean, there weren't any weekly W's as much, so it was harder to buy the dip against them. So any sort of buying of the dip would have been like what I would consider like a knife catching trade, where you're just actually using fibs and you're drawing your reload zone and you're just going to buy when price dumps down into that. And to be fair, our Road to Financial Freedom plan is doing that. A lot of the trading we've done on that is just simply hunting good location, and we're just looking to buy those levels. That's totally fine, but it's a little more risky in the fact that you might have to sit on your trades a lot longer, but you also might get a far better price. You might get cheaper prices. But nonetheless, like earlier in the year, me personally, I wasn't that excited about doing that. But then as time moves on and the W's start forming, then it's like I'm willing to just catch the knife coming back down into that W, because I have a lot more confirmation here. So now now we're in a situation, like even with Bitcoin, I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to come down there, but sure as hell, if it ever comes down to 88.6 right here, look how it's set up again. The current weekly W in Bitcoin is 88.6 oh wait, I drug my fibs up a little too high here. But you can see that actually, if we hit the 50% level, like I'd postulated earlier at 42,000 and whatever that is, 42,320. If we hit that level, that and then top out there, for example, that puts 88.6 right at the W level. That's insane. And so, yeah, I'm not saying that's going to happen. It might. I mean, maybe there's another pandemic. God help us. Or who knows what the powers that be have in store for us. But if they want to create a black swan that happens like last time, then I mean, I see two insane levels here. I see 78.6, which is down into this tail, and I see 88.6, which is the W breakout. And I fucking swear to God, I'll buy Bitcoin there if it hits those levels, like for sure, 100%. So, and I won't wait for a W. It's like if price just rips down into there, I mean, fuck it, I might as well go put some bids in there for fun. But my point being is, now that we're later into the bottoming cycle, I'm happy to hit the levels that come down into the previous market structure. Just so anyway, that's the end of my rant there. And if you want to learn more about that, cool. I'm not even going to say what you said. Yeah, sorry, I used the wrong terminology. That's awesome to see you in here, Cole. Actually, that's great.
Well, seems like they are preparing something.
Well, you might be right. That's a whole other. Yeah, we could get into that kind of talk too, I suppose. But I mean, point being, there could be something like that in our future, like something that really drives the price back down to you know. So whoever put the bottom in here, the powers that be, maybe they need to, maybe the BlackRock ETF somehow they need to like drive price. I don't know. But
well, let's keep an open eye on China again, and maybe this time we'll be more prepared if this same scenario will repeat. Yeah, we have some reason to think that. Let's not get too deep in that discussion. Is not the theme for this live stream, but let's keep an open eye on what China is doing. Maybe we'll get a better view this time. At least we know how they proceed last time.
yeah. And I mean, I think the point is things can change overnight. So yeah, we're in a really uppy market right now. It's kind of the same thing. Like even in January, February, March of this year, when to be fair, like our little Road to Financial Freedom plan for this show, we missed a lot of that rally because we didn't start until January with that show. So if we didn't catch the bottom then, and then things ran up and everybody wants to chase, and it's like people treat you like you're a dumbass. Like it's like people, like I think I've mentioned, I have a friend that he thinks I'm so chicken shit because he's like such an ape. And to be fair, it's worked for him sometimes, but it hasn't always worked for him. He's gotten himself into some trouble here. But every time like I'm like, you can't chase that there, he always just acts like I'm some like I don't know, just chicken shit. And it's funny because sure enough, if you're willing to be patient and just hunt your levels, you'll often be rewarded for that. You're going to miss some trades here and there, but like, why would I want to chase Bitcoin up here and take all this downside risk, for example, especially when I could go buy those altcoins I just showed you, for example, I could go do those instead and have much more upside potential and less downside. Because, who knows? We might wake up a month from now and this is going to look quite different. I mean, look at this straight up move. Like when does this exhaust? I mean, of course, things can always go higher, but man, it's getting a little bit excessive in its straight uppiness at this point. So just be on the lookout for that dip. And if you're not prepared now, you're going to miss it. That's all I can say. I don't know. But with that said, I think, coming right up. Well, I somehow exhausted the hour and a half and went 13 minutes over. Shit. No, it's just bound to happen. But I think that's enough for today. Unless Paul, you have anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I saw Andre saying that the market is so strong, the economy is so strong. Yeah, this time is different. We know. Up only mode. I don't believe that scenario. I don't think anything is over now. Yeah, we had an accumulation year. Yeah, we had really nice opportunities. 90% of the people missed the opportunity. Probably they will do the same with, even if Kevin will get his level again. You know how the public is. Let's not be part of the public. Let's get smarter. Let's not repeat the same mistakes, because a lot of us, yeah, we have experience, but in the same time, we did a lot of mistakes. Let's just call it that way. Last 2 cycles, we did a lot of mistakes. Let's not do that anymore. At least let's do new mistakes, not the old ones. I think we can get some really nice risk reward here until the top of the bull market. we are consistent at least. Yeah, you can see Kevin and I every weekend, every Sunday doing these live streams in the community, day in, day out, posting. We have plans, we have models of plans, you know our risk management. You don't have any excuse not to succeed this time if you are willing to put the time and effort to work. Like Kevin said, we have Capua 1 where we try to teach people to trade. The last month, so now the program is on the practical mode. You trade with us 1 full month. I think is the best thing you can get from someone. Yeah, trading with Kevin and I for 1 full month, that will keep you responsible. At least you'll learn the process. If you want to continue or not, it's up to you. But at the end of the program, you'll know how you're supposed to behave in the market. If you want on the trading part, if you want on the investment part, the simplest thing you can do, you can follow that Road to Financial Freedom plan every weekend for a couple of hours, maybe in the week 1 hour, and live your life. Don't look at the 5-minute chart if you are an investor. That was my rant at the end, just to
And Andre,
sum it up.
Andre said he's being sarcastic. I know you are. You know this probably better than me. But good to see you, by the way, Andre.
No, I understood your message. I was just wanted to continue. Yeah, we know. You know, I know. This time is different. Everything is okay. We trust the higher powers. We trust them with all our hearts. But let's follow our plans.
Yeah. Good to see you, though, Andre. Glad you're still hanging out with all of us degenerates. Cool. Well, yeah. Paul did the Capua 1 pitch, so I don't need to do that. But yeah, please reach out to me directly if you want to talk about it. Even I'm not going to hard sell you on it. If you just even want to talk about how you can get your trading journey started, I'm happy to help. You can always join our Discord just through Crypto Traders Arena, and just come and hang out with us. And if you're serious about trading as a professional, then first step is to just get your consistency up. To be honest, just make sure you're consistent and showing up every day. That's like the almost step one. If you can't do that, then everything else is going to be difficult. So I'll leave it at that. Always fun to chat around. I appreciate everything Paul does, and Stefan and the rest of the community. So thank you all. And we'll be back tomorrow in the New York session for our live trading session if you are a member, and then we'll just see you guys. I'll see you guys on Tuesday at 20 UTC. I'll talk some more crypto. So if you guys do have more requests, or go find some go find the future bangers. I'm just like an old guy that talks about fucking Link. Tell me where the next
find him the next Ethereum or the next Link or the next Bitcoin.
Yeah, you guys give me some good ideas. Cool. Well, hope to see you all later, and just have a good rest of your weekend, and we will see you soon. So take care. Bye-bye.